The NFL trade deadline came and went, and it was a little bit disappointing, but very interesting things happened, just not a whole lot of them. So today, I'm going to give my opinion on all of these trades, and I could be very wrong, I could be right. Only time will tell what happens with these trades. So let's not waste any time, but actually, let me know down below of what you think of all of these trades. You know, you can let me know of one of them if you have a stronger opinion on one more than any of the others, but let me know if there was something you liked for one team or very much didn't like for another team. But I'm only going to start with I guess we'll go with the Kevin Byard one. I mean, the Mecole Hardman one is kind of old news at this point. It was a little bit ago, but the Kevin Byard trade was interesting. I was surprised the Titans did this, but only did this. I feel like if you're the Titans, they should have either gone like full rebuild and traded Byard, Hopkins, maybe not Hopkins, but Derrick Henry, like all of your older pieces, or just trade none of them and try to build the rest of the roster up in the offseason. But they traded Kevin Byard to the Eagles for next to nothing. I mean, they got Terrell Edmunds, but he's just whatever. And then they get a 5th and a 6th round pick, which, I mean, those aren't absolutely nothing, but they're not great picks. I was just really surprised the Titans didn't do something else. But I mean, the rich just get richer here. The Eagles, their only real question on the roster, I wouldn't say only because linebacker isn't great for them, but I guess one of their few question marks on the team was safety. They have Reed Blankenship, who's solid, but now they just get a massive upgrade there and bring in one of the best safeties, maybe the best safety in the NFL over the last like 3 or 4 years, for not a lot of value, and they're gonna really make a Super Bowl run here. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna give all these teams grades. For the Eagles, this is an A, obviously. I mean, this is almost a no-brainer if you get offered this trade. And for the Titans, look, if they would have traded a lot of their players away, or at least more than just Byard, I would have said, sure, this is like a B. I mean, I understand you want to blow up the team, but I don't know. This is like a C minus to me. It's not a lot of value for a really good safety. They maybe should have waited until the trade deadline to see if they could get a little bit more of a desperate team, but I don't know. It is what it is. I like it for the Eagles. I don't love it for the Titans, but I guess I understand wanting to move on from an older-ish safety. He's not even that old, though, but whatever. Now here's my least favorite trade from the deadline, and unfortunately, I happen to be a Seahawks fan. Maybe I'm just too critical on the team. The Seahawks gave up a 2nd and a 5th round pick for Leonard Williams. I like Leonard Williams, and if we are getting, like, prime Jets Leonard Williams, this is absolutely worth it, but that's not exactly what he is anymore. He is still a good player. He's not that, like, amazing player, though. And he needs a contract this offseason, and now he has all the leverage in the world. Him and his agent will just be like, oh, hey, you gave up a lot to go get me. Now you're going to have to pay up a shitload, unless this is just them saying, hey, we want a Super Bowl run this year, and we think Leonard Williams is the guy that'll get it done. But I don't know where they're going to play Leonard Williams necessarily, because Draymond Jones is a little bit similar to them, or to him. I think I just don't see eye to eye on what the Seahawks look for in a D lineman. I think they value, like, I don't know. Leonard Williams is a good player, but I wouldn't have given up that much to get him. Kind of like I wouldn't have paid Draymond Jones as much as they did. And that take has definitely panned out pretty well so far. Not that he's been bad, obviously, but it's like a little bit of an overpay. I don't know. Just another overpay here. If this would have been like a 3rd round pick on its own, sure, cool. And if he had been under contract for more than 1 year, I would have been even a little more okay with it than I am. But just all that combined, I'm going to give this like a D+ for Seattle. The more I talk about it, the less I like it. The only thing I convinced myself that I like about it is the fact that it's likely not going to be a very high 2nd round pick. It'll probably be somewhere around 56 to like 62 or somewhere. I don't know. Unless things really fall apart, or unless they somehow make or win the Super Bowl. I don't know. And if they re-sign him, that's cool, but again, they're probably going to have to pay him so goddamn much money. But for the Giants, this is an A. You could not have gotten more value from Leonard Williams. You know what? No, this is an A+ for the Giants. If you're looking to trade Leonard Williams, this is the best you could have gotten. And they're going going full tank mode now, you might as well. I mean, Daniel Jones is hurt. He sucked when he was in. The offensive line is terrible. I would imagine they're going to spend this pick on an offensive lineman. They should, unless they draft a replacement to Leonard Williams. Giants get an A+, Seahawks get a D+. I like moves the Seahawks do occasionally. This one could, I acknowledge this one very well could pan out, but right now it doesn't look great. At least I don't. And then I'm not going to spend much time on this one. Kentavious Street in a 7th round pick to the Eagles for a 6th round pick. It's like a B for both teams. The Falcons replace Grady Jarrett and the Eagles upgrade a pick. I guess they changed the year too, from 2025 to 2024. It's a B for both teams. I understand why both teams did it. Kentavious Street is like a fine enough player. It's whatever. And now we're into more very interesting ones. The Chicago Bears traded a 2nd round pick for Montez Sweat. This trade is really similar to the Leonard Williams trade in the sense that Montez Sweat needs a contract and the Bears gave up a 2nd round pick. Now, personally, I like this more for the Bears, and I would have liked if Seattle traded for Montez Sweat more than if they traded for Leonard Williams. But that's not what happened, so it is what it is. But, you know, assuming the Bears do sign Montez Sweat, assuming they re-sign him, this is a B+. If they don't re-sign him, though, this is an F. Like, Montez Sweat's a good player and all, obviously, but the Bears' season is kind of cooked. Like, it's not like this is the piece that's gonna set them over the edge and now they're going for a deep playoff run. Like, maybe they somehow sneak into the playoffs now because Montez Sweat is a good player, but I don't know, man. Unless they re-sign him, it's not looking great, but assuming they do, I'm gonna assume they will re-sign him. And I'll call this a B+, but why not just try to go for a good pass rusher in free agency? Maybe they think getting him in-house first will make him want to re-sign more? I don't know. I mean, I like the trade on paper. Montez Sweat for a 2nd round pick is good value. It's just like, I don't know, he's not under contract after the year, and you're not going anywhere this year, more than likely. So, I don't know. And for the Commanders, I mean, I don't know why they traded both of their edge rushers, but a 2nd rounder for Sweat isn't bad. I'll give it like a B+. I mean, again, that's probably as much value as you could have possibly gotten, so I'll go B+, but it's just weird that they traded both of them, which we'll get to the other one in a second. The Vikings traded for Josh Dobbs, and they gave up a 6th round pick to get a 7th round pick along with him. I don't know, I guess, sure. Again, it's kind of the same deal as this one for the Bears. Like, I don't really see the point of it. The Viking season is pretty much cooked now that they don't have Kirk anymore, but if they just want to stay afloat and be fine, then I guess I get it. Still, I'm just like, what's the point? Like, Josh Dobbs isn't a bad player, but whatever. It's a B for both teams once again. And the Jaguars traded a 6th round pick for Ezra Cleveland. I like this a lot for the Jags. I'm gonna give it an A-. I think I saw a lot of Vikings fans not liking Ezra Cleveland and being happy that he was gone. I disagree. I think he's pretty good. And a 6th round pick isn't a whole lot to give up. I mean, just adding more pieces to their O-line, that's already not bad. I think they maybe should have gone for a center though, but whatever. Any offensive line is good offensive line. One of the most important positions in football. I mean, just look at the Giants. So I like it for the Jags, and for the Vikings, apparently they just didn't want him anymore. I'll give it like a C+, B-. It's like whatever. But I do like it for the Jags. And then now the one that pains me the most. The 49ers got Chase Young for a goddamn 3rd round pick. Why does the NFL let them get away with this? Like, how do they always do this? The only thing about Chase Young is that he gets injured a lot, but that was the whole thing with the Christian McCaffrey trade. That's why I wasn't crazy about that for the 49ers, but he hasn't gotten injured, like hardly at all. And he's been maybe the best running back in the NFL. So yeah, it definitely worked out for them. So I'm not going to question them when it comes to injury-riddled players anymore. They're getting what could be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL for just a 3rd round pick, which I think they got for hiring like a minority coach or something. And now they just have a ton of them, which is a crazy strategy. Every team should do that. I knew the 49ers were going to do something. I kind of thought they would trade for a corner, but now their pass rush group includes Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Randy Gregory, Drake Jackson, Cleveland Ferrell, who's been decent for them. I mean, they have a lot of guys there. It kind of hurts to just list them. I think Seattle needs edge more than they need interior D-line. How do you give up a 2nd and a 5th for a D-lineman who's worse and older than Chase Young, who they got for a 3rd round pick? I mean, again, I know injury concerns, but still. Whatever. That's an A+ for the 49ers. It's like a C for the Commanders. Why are you trading both of your edge guys? Like, you couldn't pay one of them? That's a C-. Chase Young is still very young, and you invested a ton in him. It's a C-. I don't like it for them. It's obviously very good for the 49ers. And then this trade is just like, whatever. Donovan Peoples-Jones hasn't been good for the Browns this year, and I don't know where he's gonna fit in for the Lions. Did they get an injury at receiver? I mean, I know Jameson Williams hasn't been great, but they have 3 other receivers who are doing well in Khalif Raymond, obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Josh Reynolds. So I don't know. It's like a B-, C+ for both teams. It's like, whatever. And then to finish it off, another interesting one. Definitely not ending on an uninteresting note here. The Bills traded a 3rd-round pick for Rasul Douglas and a 5th-round pick. A third is a kind of a bit to give up, and if that 5th-round pick wasn't included, I wouldn't really love this for the Bills, but getting that 5th-round pick makes this definitely a little better. I understand why both teams did it. Rasul Douglas isn't super young, and the Packers aren't really going anywhere this year. I don't know if he needs a contract this year. He might, but the Bills definitely need more corners on their team. So I'll give this a B+, B+ for both sides. It makes sense for both sides. The Packers upgrade their 5th to a 3rd, and the Bills get a good number 2 corner, or I guess number 1, because I forgot Trey White got hurt, and they're going to try to stay in the mix for a Super Bowl. So yeah, I'll give it a B+ for both teams, actually. But that is all of the trades. Oh, they gave their own trade grades. They only gave the Chase Young one an A-. Y'all are smoking crack. B. I see a lot of people that like this for the Seahawks. I mean, if they can make a serious run this year, sure. If not, eh. But anyways, that's all for today's video. I really hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and be sure to subscribe. Let's see if we can get to, I don't know, 300 likes on this video. I have no idea what this is gonna get, but subscribe for more. Subscribe to the main channel, link in the description. And again, let me know what y'all thought of some of these trades. But thank you all so much for watching, and with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.